Today I want to demonstrate a very simple technique that might be useful to you if you're a JavaScript programmer. Let's say you have a module that has several functions and you just changed one of these functions. This one, for example. It has meaningless stuff right now, but let's just say you changed it in a structural way that actually changes the algorithm of your website in a significant manner. And you want to just run this code right now before you deploy it. You want to run it a couple of times on the console window quickly. You can write unit tests for it, but let's just say before writing unit tests, you simply want to run it on the console a few times just to kind of get the feel of what you've written. So there is test.html, which references a simple JavaScript file called test.js, and this has a document ready event handler, which it doesn't matter what all this is. This is basically rubbish. Let's just pretend that this is the 500 or 500,000 lines of code on your page, and then this page at hundreds of places in different hundreds of code paths calls the various functions inside foo, out of which you want to test just one don't function. You don't want to actually debug it, you just want to run it a couple of times. If that's the problem, then you can't actually say import. You can't do that because you can only have module declarations inside a module as the first line of the module. So that's the problem statement. And the way to get around this is really simple. If the module is accessed by one of your pages that's already loaded in the RAM, then your module is already loaded in the RAM. But you can't run it like this right now because you can't just access it right now. You got to get the module loaded in the scope, and the way to do that is just run your code and set a debug point anywhere. So I'll go to sources, I'll go anywhere and set a debug point over here in any line. Actually, basically I just want the thing to break in the debugger. I'll refresh the page. You don't have to refresh the page if you've got like 1,000 lines of code with different event handlers, but you get the point. I don't. I have just a document ready, so that's why I'm refreshing the page. I'll just get it. You can click a button and set a debug point in a button click event handler. Now once I've got the debug point set, this window over here has the different block scopes in your code. And one of the block scope is going to be of a type module. Even if this window doesn't say that it's of a type module, it's going to be of the module, all the modules that you have. There's going to be one block scope per module. And this is Firefox. So it won't actually spell out module, but it'll say one of these blocks is going to be the foo module. So all I have to do is just look at each of these. This block doesn't seem like it. This is an anonymous block, so it doesn't seem like it. This is the window level block, and this is the block that I think it is. Yes, that's the object foo that represents our module with these functions. Now that we're in the debugger, broken anywhere, it doesn't matter. As long as the RAM, as long as your heap has this module loaded, you can call anything in the console window like you were calling the module itself. Now I can call don't with a string and then test it. Let me do the same thing in Chrome. I'll go to sources, set a breakpoint, refresh the page, and look over here. It says among these scopes, this is a module. These scopes are of type module. All your modules will be listed here, and foo is listed here. And since we've already broken in the debugger, I'll go to the console window and just say don't. Same thing in Opera. Control-Shift-I on Windows will bring up developer tools. I go to the sources. I set a breakpoint, which I've already got. I'll refresh the page. Once I'm in the debugger broken somewhere, the scopes window has blocks of type or scopes of type module. I've just got one module right now loaded. That's called foo, since my module is loaded. I can call any function in it. Sorry. So that's another way to test it. I can even call do. Sorry, it's called D-double-O because do is a keyword, so I didn't name it D-O, I named it D-double-O. That's how you do it.
Ram 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 Jaya Ram 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 Ram